Formula E leaves Sao Paulo, Brazil and makes its way halfway around the world. Welcome to the Tokyo Exhibition Centre for the first ever Tokyo E-Prix. It's surrounded by water and we've had plenty of it. Dry now for free practice 1. We welcome you to FP1. Green light and away we go. The first practice session is underway here for the Formula E World Championship. There's Takuma Sato watching on in the background and we are underway. 28 minutes remain in this session already. And I can tell you as well that Dan Ticktum's got the fastest second sector of anybody so far. Got a brand new timing screen as well up here in the comms box, which means I can finally see all the data. It's dry in one part of the track, then soaking wet in the other. As we're coming back into the start-finish line, down to turns 1, 2 and 3. A lot of water and a lot of rain. Let's check in, first of all, though, with Tom Brooks and Dan Keating.
Yeah, lots of bumps, lots of elevation changes. So it's a real challenge for the drivers, as you can see a few exploring the attack zone there.
Full course yellow.
Lots going on and lots to learn.
2, 1. Full course yellow, full course yellow.
So that's race director Scott Elkins there, just doing a full course yellow practice. That is pretty standard in Formula E. If it's your first time watching it, we do this just to make sure all the systems are working, all the communications with the drivers, and so on and so forth. One thing that I will say here about this track, Dario, lots of elevation and lots of different surface changes as well here in particular.
This is a new one for me. I've seen all kinds of surfaces over the years, but this sort of high grip, almost like parking lot surface is different, and it's got that
this is race control. Full
going
course yellow ending.
To turn
5,
9.
4, 3, 2, 1. Green flag, green flag.
And that's a very interesting part of the circuit. and the grip level will be coming in and out from that high grip surface. So yeah, this is a proper old school Formula E track. Those bumpy elevation changes, as you mentioned, Tom. Different surfaces, again, no massive runoffs. The walls are right there. I'm looking forward to this race because I think it's the nature of the track as much as anything.
And obviously, it's a bit of a level playing field for all the drivers. Nobody's got any experience of this track but for in the simulators that have been testing in Billy. What do you think everyone's mindset is going to be going into this FP1 session?
I think whenever you go to a new circuit, there's always an element of you've got to build into your weekend. You know, you don't want to go out there and, you know, overstep the boundaries, find yourself on the wall and lose that track time. So I think, you know, everyone will be having a fairly cautious approach, especially whilst there's still a bit of standing water in the mix of things as well. As you see Mitch Evans there having a little bit of a couple of moments on the way down into turn 1.
Yep, and Buemi has got the fastest first sector at the moment and fastest delta on your screen, as you can see. So Buemi has gone the fastest. Just trying to work out what's happened to the timing tower up here in the comms box on your screen, because I don't know if it's wrong for you, but it's definitely wrong for me. There's the gap between everybody. Interval gap isn't working, so we'll just keep that one open at the moment. But Buemi on a 1:56.347. Frines 1:58.844. Evans 2 minutes. As you can see, it's not really improving the way you think it would. It's dramatically changing around out there on the circuit. Half a circuit. Well, track temperature is now 16 degrees. Air temperature is 21 degrees. So there is at least a little bit of warmth coming back to the circuit. 68% humidity, 3 km/h wind speed is the current time, but there was a lot of monsoon weather earlier on, and the front straightaway is still absolutely livid as we get our first proper lap times in. Frines at a 1:24.431. Evans on a 1:24.495. Dennis third, Cassidy fourth, DaCosta fifth, and now Verline goes, Cassidy goes up to fourth, and pushes Nato into 10th. Van Dorn now goes fourth place, Cassidy down to fifth, so they've improved massively. DaCosta starts a lap time, but Buemi's got the fastest first sector now. It's Evans with a 34.039, so again, just changing the times over, just finding what's possible and what's not possible. as they come into the session. The entire field separated by 1 minute and 4 seconds, as you can probably tell on your time in town. I wonder why the gap isn't working at the interval on the live timing. It's all messed up. Let's have a little bit of a change, shall we, live on air. Get it all sorted. And we'll hand over to Dan.
Weekend continues. Not only Porsche that have got a special livery on their car, Nissan also too here, Billy. Home race weekend for that team. A lot of eyes on them, but also crucially, they've just committed to Gen 4 as well. They're in FE up until 2030.
Yeah, Nissan definitely making their mark this weekend with that announcement, you know, really showing their intent to, you know, stay in Formula E, like you say, for a long period of time. Obviously, they're on a run of good form with Oliver Rowland. You know, he's been really consistent and picking up some good points and, you know, putting himself in contention for, you know, the championship potentially. You know, he's still in that mix. He's not too far away. He's in that sort of battle from 3rd to 7th in the championship. There's only 6 points between all those drivers, so it's super tight there. Just still watching Antonio Felix da Costa again into turn 1. You can see that moment where we've got, you know, the wet track down the main straight.
Yeah, they're just inside the Porsche garage here as well with Florian Modlinger, the team principal, just on the right-hand side of your picture watching on. It's really interesting how the drivers are sort of, as you'd imagine, struggling down.
Oops, and we've got a yellow, turn 4. So it's car 2, and it's Stoffel van Dorn. So Stoffel van Dorn has gone into the wall at turn 4, as you can see. Double yellow, turn 4. As we see, Lucas de Grassi goes straight on. Now, what's happened? Turn 4, it's at the attack mode. Will we need a red flag? Has Van Dorn very much put it in the wall? There's no real runoff down there either, the 4th turn. Yes, red flag. Red flag's out. So whatever's happened, oh, he's just come to a stop. Okay. So Stoffel van Dorn has come to a stop, and it has brought out the red flags here in 21 minutes to go. That's a bit bizarre. And TNT have taken this opportunity to go to an ad break. It's the middle of the morning, and they've gone straight to an ad break. Yeah, why am I not really surprised that that's the situation that they've gone for? To go, oh, all right, we'll just go completely off topic and go straight to an ad break. Joke's on them, because we've got another monitor up here in the commentary box. That means that we can just immediately keep our eyes open. So red flag's out then, session is suspended, and the cars will return to the pit lane. Back this weekend as race director is Scott Elkin, so he'll be telling the teams all the information that they need to know. So red flag, session is suspended, and the cars will come back in, and we will get this session restarted as soon as it is deemed safe to do so by the race director. As Dennis, Evans, Frines, Tickton, Buemi, Rowland, da Costa, Moller, Fenestrad's in there too. Let's hand back over.
Looking to keep some heat into the tyres as they come back into the pit lane. The thing is that the timer doesn't stop counting down, even though the red flag is out. So all the while that this has happened, it will obviously mean that they've got reduced amount of track time. Let's have a listen in here.
Just looks, yeah, he's just trying to read what it says in the dash. Yeah, just cut out, stopped.
Computer says no for Stoffel van Dorn, unfortunately, with just over 20 minutes remaining of this session. So an early end to the Belgians' free practice 1 here in Tokyo, unfortunately for him. And, well, we hope that it's not too much of a serious problem. They don't have to do any component changes, because obviously you could incur a grid penalty as a result of that. Speaking of grid penalties, actually, a couple of weeks ago in Sao Paulo, we saw Max Günther with what was a 40-place grid penalty, then a 10-second stop-go in the race, and he still came through to finish in 9th. It's amazing. It
was a great effort by him. The key to that was the safety car. He taken his penalty, his drive-through stop-go penalty, rather. So he's got to drive down the pit lane, stop, and go again. So it's much more than 10 seconds. The safety car came out after that, allowed him to close back up to the pack. He was smart. He saved some energy. He circulated, saving energy. Got back to the back of the pack under the safety car, and then attacked. Did a great job, him and the Maserati MSG team.
Interestingly, just listening to team radio there from Stoffel to the team, and they're having to turn the car completely off to seem to, you know, reset whatever issues are going on. and they said that they're going to lose team radio during that period of time to Stoffel. So, you know, he's going to be alone in the car trying to work things out.
Master off. So we're going to lose radio when you do that.
There's an echo in this commentary box, isn't
Seems
there?
so.
Billy's on it there, flying the radios. The problem when they switch the radio off, these cars are so complicated. All of a sudden, you're on your own. You're thinking, what do I do now?
Yeah. So you see here that well, now the car is going to be recovered. Also, just inside the Andretti box as well. So a couple of setup changes going on here, Dario. What do you reckon they're doing to the front suspension on that Andretti?
I would say they're either lowering or raising the ride height. They might have changed the springs, but they're changing the ride height of the car, how close it runs to the ground. So if they've put a stiffer front spring on the car, they can run the car that little bit lower. If they put a softer spring on, they have to raise the car a little bit, or maybe they're just raising the car or lowering the car on its own from a static point of view. Same thing happening with the Envision.
Yeah, inside here with Sebastian Buemi. So making a few setup changes on that car after a challenging weekend for them in South.
Okay, everybody, this is race control. We've got the incident cleared up. Pit exit's going to open at 16:43. 16:43.
So that was race director Scott Elkins saying that the session will hopefully resume at 16:43. So that's just about 30 seconds or so local time.
Looking at the pitch straight, there's almost a dry line forming, but now that the cars aren't running anymore, the water's come back across. So that might be an ongoing problem for the rest of the session. 17 minutes to go, and that's going to really limit the learning from that part of the track that any of the teams can do, because the tyre's going to be wet going in there, obviously low grip, but the tyre's probably not going to recover all the way around to maybe turn 4. It's going to change the complexion of that part of the track.
Yeah, absolutely right. The green flag does fly then, with now 17 minutes left of free practice 1. I wonder if we might get a couple of added minutes at the end of this session, because of course it is a new circuit, but the drivers very eagerly queuing. It's like downtown Tokyo, this. Bit of a traffic jam forming at the end of pit lane. 2 Nissans there, line astern, likewise the 2 McLarens. It's a bit like Noah's Ark as they head out onto the wet circuit. Be interested to see what happens here for this.
Yeah, the teams line up in pit lane. The garages are in order of the team's championship from the season before, so Envision are the first garage, which means they get clear track leaving the pit lane. They've earned that right from winning the team's championship from last season.
Yep, and away they go then, out onto the circuit here for the Tokyo E-Prix. And finally the session can restart. There is just outside the exhibition centre on the edge to Tokyo City. We're just sort of in the middle. If you saw our Google Earth fly in at the start of the show, you know exactly where we are on the track. And just keeping our eyes focused at the top of the screen here. Dennis on top. He's got a 1:22.979 on the board. And then we got Evans, 1:23.126. Everybody bar De Vries has set a lap time. Van Dorn no further part in this session. He'll end with a 1:24.348. Buemi, Sitakama and Nato still in the pit lane. Through the back half of 19 and 20 and across the line here. It's a weird circuit, this one. It really is, because it loops back around. It's one of the longest in terms of length of the calendar. You can see it takes up our entire side screen here. Not even any room for the flags and that lot to go on. But we're working on that for tomorrow, about where to put the Japanese flag. I think it's going top corner of the map. Top left corner of the map is where we're putting it. And the track's still damp. If you're just joining us, track is damp after a monsoon earlier on in the day. Sun is out here, but it is still a very damp circuit. 16 degrees track temperature, air temperature 21 degrees. Is the polar opposite as to what it needs to be. Usually track temperature's a lot hotter than the air temperature, but that rain's cooled it right down. As they swing back. 3 safety car positions, by the way. That's what you're seeing. Let's see if it's used on the radio.
Tell you what, I reckon there are going to be some shenanigans.
Fastest from before the red flag was a 22.9. Our biggest loss was turn 9.
Hughes from the team radio there. Biggest loss turn 9, that's where we're seeing right now. Seta Kamara and Ticton come through into Degrassi. That sweeping section of the circuit. Would love an onboard lap to familiarise myself with it. Long downhill section here coming out of turn 18 down to 19. And it's hard to tell where it actually is. If we said to come out now, this is a replay. Oh, this is straight on at turn 1 where the damp track is. Losing a little bit, as to a 360. First sector always reminds me a bit of Turkey for some reason. The way it looks on the circuit now. It's a good little circuit. I really like it. I mean, to bring it to Tokyo for the first time, you can't just put it straight on. Like it's not like Gran Turismo. You can't just put it straight on a motorway section. You know that track is awesome in Tokyo on Gran Turismo. This is the best we could do it, and it's pretty cool. Very cool, in fact. Like it a lot. Yellow flags, turn 16. And it's car 9, and we've gone green again. So Mitch Evans briefly off the track. Track clear at turn 16. Verline goes second, 122.737. Improves on the time. Ollie Rowland's fastest first sector with a 33.468. Frines the fastest second sector there just now with a 20.525. And Rowland's being held up now on his fast lap time here, coming out of the last 2 corners at 19 and 20. So Rowland across the line. Oh, yellow flag turn 1, car off, spin up, and there's a car off at turn 16 as well. Another one at turn 16. Can't see anyone down there, track clear. But one of the Nissans off at turn 1 as well. What? What? You're mid-session, why did you go to an ad break? Oh, for goodness sake. Yellow flag, double at turn 15 once again. So something's gone down there that we haven't seen. And hopefully we need to see. But unfortunately, our monitors have gone wrong again. Let's go down over.
You get there quicker.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, if you get onto that runoff area in turn 1, very, very slippery. So you better make sure you've done your braking
something's
before you
happened.
get there.
Listen.
Otherwise you'll speed when you hit that painted section.
You see a bit of traffic here as well. That's Hughes just getting out of the way of Max Günther as Günther makes his way through. Driver's eye view, as you can see on board here. Just talk us through this, Dario.
Coming through turn 9 at the moment, and he's got this long run down to turn 10. Look at the low sun in the sky. The human eye reacts a bit quicker than the camera. Right, and then look at the left, no curb. He's got to apex the wall in these next 2 corners. A bit more traffic for Max Günther. It's easy to make a mistake there. The most grip is hard up against the wall on the inside, but it's easy to misjudge that and clip the inside wall, and that then tends to shoot you into the outside wall. Up from turn 15 now up to turn 16. We're going to have a left, right, left chicane. So correcting the slide. A quick change of direction. Down that traffic. Yeah, a lot of traffic. Down turns 19, then 20 now, back onto the pitch straight, and you'll start to see the wet parts of the circuit. See him looking down at his dash. Now watch how much a little grip he's got.
Oh, another one off at 1.
Brakes, look at him sort of locking. The car in front goes off down the escape road.
Yeah, that's fairness, Raz. It's just gone
It's
down the
busy,
road.
isn't it?
It is. It's all going off.
I mean, 20 turns within 1.6 miles.
There's a lot going on. So it was Verline that went off a few minutes ago.
That was a Porsche.
Hey,
excuse me.
There you go.
Oh, we're missing that, guys. It's bright pink.
Yeah, be useful in a power cut if anything happened. So that's just getting a little bit squirrely on the rear. Straight off onto the runoff area. This is Jake Dennis.
Oh, he touched the wall.
What's happening here for him into the left?
Looked-
Oh, he's gone off into the wall.
Yeah, it was that 16. He hit a bump. It looked like he hit a bump in braking. Just watch the suspension.
It's on the way into turn 15.
Actually, looks, he locked the front actually before that. You won't see the fronts locking a lot as a normal sort of lock-up because it tends to the systems in the car take control of that. As Mitch Evans got some serious traffic ahead of him.
Yeah, just trying to negotiate.
Nick
his way
Cassidy.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's Cassidy that's just trying to find his way through, isn't it? Into the chicane of turns 10 and 11, making his way back through to the second half of the lap.
Porsche's 1-2 at the moment.
Yeah, good
It's
stuff.
worth noting those times are tumbling. I mean, we were
Oh, and there goes.
124 was the last time I looked at the lead. Well, now it's 121.8 is the fastest. When we were looking at the simulations of the track before this weekend, because obviously no one has run on it before, it was predicting around 1:16 for the lap time. So still suggests that if those simulations are correct, we've still got a few more seconds to find.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be more time to find, especially as the circuit obviously dries out, especially down into that first corner. The difficulty is that, as you can see, there's a lot of shade now because it's, what,
So
10 to 5 local time.
Try and work the tyre. Let's just try and keep the tyre in a good temperature, and we'll push again next lap.
And obviously with the shade, it's not able to be warm enough to clear that standing water. So just a bit of team radio there from Sam Bird, Dario, just saying about keeping the tyres in the right operating window. We talk about that a lot. What does that mean, though?
They've been told to stop
So,
because they're going to again.
Just making his way through.
Wonderful circuit this, as we get back into it.
Big snap
think
of
he caught
oversteer.
the wall.
Yeah, big snap of oversteer there on the ERT. That's
I think he did touch the wall, yeah.
Just coming on the run.
Carried some speed through there. They turned 10 and 11.
Yellow flag,
Stuff
10-16.
from Seti Camera.
The thing is,
McLaren.
he's not afraid of getting his elbows out. We have seen him push on the ragged edge on more than one occasion this year. If you remember back to the first race at Diriyah when he got it into the dunes, complete to the surprise of everybody at all. But he has also gone beyond that limit on occasion as well. If you look back to Mexico, there's a McLaren off into the chicane.
Sam Bird.
From the first day he showed up and drove a Formula E car, he's not been afraid of much. And his attacking style is brilliant. There's so many times when he was on a lap and maybe we could have put him right up front, he made a small mistake, but he walks that tightrope all the time. Absolutely love it. Love the fact that he attacks and makes absolutely the most out of that ERT.
Into the pit lane then comes Sergio Sete Camara. The first session just briefly going on and getting in there, but we've had a few offs on the circuit and we've gone back to green flag conditions at the moment. Antonio Felix da Costa jumps to the top on a 1:21.570. Sector 1 with a 33.305. Remarkably quick time there on the deltas. That's a very good time, in fact. Remarkably good. That's a big improvement from what he was suffering with before. As Dennis comes to a 0.045 down on the board is Jake. So it's not too much. He could put in P2. I mean, Da Costa's got 2/10 to the field at the moment, so anything that he can find about is good. Hello to Dimas, who says, hello to Spurs, konnichiwa Tokyo. Arigato Tokyo as well. First of two races back-to-back here in Japan. It used to be Formula 1 would do Japan, a week later MotoGP would do Japan. We'd just sort of stay on that same coverage bandwagon. Now, Formula E are doing Tokyo in Japan, and then a week later, about 45 minutes away, is Suzuka. And we will do that as well. So, yeah, it's weird. But Tokyo, 45 minutes, then Suzuka. And then next week, it is the Suzuka Grand Prix, the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka. And rain predicted there as well. So, it's a nice little Japanese runaround that we've got coming here. I wonder if I can get my Japanese shirt ready. I mean, why is it always cold as well? Why do we always have to have the Japanese Grand Prix when it's absolutely freezing? Yellow flag, turn 1. Who's off? Car 23, Sasha Fenestras. Oh, and he's broken his front wing. Sasha's hit the wall and he's broken his front wing in that Nissan. So their home race, he's got a problem. Now, is this going to bring out a red flag if he stalled the car? Roland goes top in the other Nissan. 1:21.522. Oh, he hasn't stopped. Has he broken the suspension? Is this going to bring out a red flag and end as Gunther goes top? 1:21.387. So Gunther fastest now to Roland second. Is this going to bring out a red flag and stop the session with 4 minutes to go? So they'll have to extend the time. Let's take a look then. Into the first car. He's coming out of the pit lane. Oh, he's going to get hit by one of the McLarens. Sam Bird goes wide at turn 1 and takes Fenestraz off and clips his front wing. So Fenestraz coming out of the pit lane, Bird's aquaplaned, and he just hits the front wing. Red flag's out, that's crucial. So a red flag to stop the session. Nothing, either one, well, Fenestraz coming out of the pits, but Bird couldn't do anything, he aquaplaned, but wow, red flag's out.
No surprise at all, that was Sam Bird, the other driver who was caught up in it in the neon McLaren. So the red flag is out, 3 minutes left of the session. So that's 2 red flags we've had now. That'll be an end to the session, but again, I wonder whether we might get some minutes added on. But if not, that is, well, a very disruptive first free practice.
2 Nissan-powered cars taking each other out there down at turn 1. That won't go down too well at their home race.
Nothing Sam Bird could have done, though. He was obviously on the limit, going into the braking zone, and you know, Fenestraz was coming out of the pits. Nothing Fenestraz could have done either. Just one of those crazy incidents.
Wow. Certainly wasn't expecting that. Fenestraz, though, a disappointing end to his first free practice session. 9th quickest he is. His teammate Roland had just popped it in fastest, but was then pipped to the post by Max Günther in the MSG Maserati. Looking here at some super slow-mos of the Maserati clattering over the curbs. You can see there, that sort of inner curb on the inside, that's going to catch a few out in qualifying, I reckon.
I'm not sure that curb, it's this bit, it's the left-hand wall you've got to watch. You overdo that curb ever so slightly. It's this next bit right there where they are now. That's the bit you got to watch for.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've hit it a few times. Been there, done it, and a chance to shove you right into the outside wall. And with the schedule we've got tomorrow, none of these drivers, none of these teams can afford that. That will be their day over because it will break the car and they won't have time to fix it.
Yeah, it's a very compact schedule here. We sort of kick off free practice at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, then we go into qualifying about an hour and a half later. Then there's a bit of time between that and the race in the afternoon, but as you say, not a lot of time to right things if things do go wrong. Just looking here at Mitch Evans, it's special helmet livery for him on his 100th race in Formula E. Team principal for Nissan, Tommaso Volpe, just watching on there as well. So he'll be, I think, pretty happy with Roland's second place, but also a little bit disappointed because this man here has ended the session prematurely.
Yeah, big weekend for him, for Tommaso Volpe, for Nissan as well. You know, they've committed to the Gen 4 car. They've had some decent results recently with Sam Bird winning in the Nissan-powered McLaren. Oliver Rowland's a couple of podiums, but things have definitely been going a lot better for him. Timing's good because I'm sure all the big bosses are going to be here this weekend at the Formula E race.
Well, just see the Nissan being pushed back into the pit lane at the end of this session, so it looks like it will not be resumed. You can see the car, the wheels pointing in all different directions. The left front corner in particular, the area that's taken a whack. You can see that the front wing that has also become damaged.
But you think, oh, change of suspension and that'll be it done. Obviously,
attention all teams, this is race control. The intention is to restart the session
in
in
5 minutes.
The intention is to restart the session.
Okay, so we will get the session restarted.
So we're just doing the math on it right now.
Called it, Tom.
Hey,
I thought
there you
there's
go.
no way. We're not with the sun going down, but Scott Elkins must have been listening.
Would you like the lottery numbers for next Thursday as well?
Please. Got a few cars I want to buy.
I've seen your garage.
I was going to say a few more.
Yeah. So 5 minutes then to be added to the end of free practice 1.
And again, the water's gone right back across. Got to watch for that for tomorrow morning again. Hopefully it's dried up by then, but with lack of sun from now till then, it could be a challenge.
Yeah, and also as well, free practice 2 being quite early tomorrow morning, it's going to be a lot colder. So this was sort of the only real representation of track conditions coming into qualifying for the drivers. But obviously that's been disrupted, one by the wet circuit, but also crucially by the 2 red flags that we've had in this session, courtesy of Stoffel Van Dorn and also with Sam Bird and Ollie Rowland.
You see the marks on the track.
So it's bottomed out, isn't
That's
it?
where the car. Yeah, exactly right. That's cool to see. That's probably going on about Jake Dennis's spine. That's causing. Yeah, that's where the impacts will be. So we see Pascal Wehrlein in that lovely pink Porsche.
Yeah, special livery for them here in Tokyo, and a lot of hype, of course, around Tokyo. If you saw the promo bits that we've been doing with Formula E on our social media channels, we were down at Liberty Walk the other day with special Formula E car as well, and special livery on that. And also a lot of news coming into this weekend as well, as we just look at that compression that you were talking about there, Dario. But also in terms of the news for Formula E, Lola and Yamaha partnering up together. They're back.
That's huge. I mean, Lola's a manufacturer with 60+ years of experience in racing, and they've got back together with Yamaha. They're coming into the championship next year. The question is, who are they going to partner with? Which team? I mean, if you look around the paddock, it's pretty obvious that there's a bit of romancing going on between them and the ABB team at the moment, which would be a great combination for both. But fantastic to see the Lola name in Formula E, to see Yamaha in Formula E. It's yeah, looking good.
Well, it marks the first time that Lola will be in international open wheel competition since 2005, and then the first time for Yamaha since 1997, back with Damon Hill in the Arrows. So it's a long absence.
Yeah.
Yamaha back there with David Hill, the Arrows, almost won the 1997 Hungarian Grand Prix, and it would have won if it wasn't for a little valve that cost 50
as we run on board with him.
Okay, Sam, this will be an outbuild push 300. We're going to scrap the 350. We just need to try and get a bit of a clean lap in.
Yes, they need race pace. That's what they need after, effectively, they caused the red flag. So, yeah, Mark Preston, here is now, as we said, if you remember, Mark Preston joined us in the commentary box last year here on JBMotorsports for the Mexico City E-Prix. He is now head at Lola Cars of the Motorsport Division, and he has brought this team into it, and he did a press conference here a few days ago. So nice to have Mark Preston back in the Formula E paddock, and he's only spent 2 seasons away, but that's brilliant news. He was in the commentary box for us race 1 last year, so very, very lovely man, and I'll drop him a message later as well, saying congratulations. And I haven't done so yet. I forgot to do it yesterday, so I'll give him a quick text message and say, well, congratulations for Lolo, welcome back to Formula E as well. So, we've recalculated. We now have 7 minutes of the session left. So, Samba, originally we were told that it was going to be a 3-minute session. That's why we were going to scrap the 3:50 lap times. But the race director now added 7 minutes to the board. So, it's a 7-minute session, and that's what we're going to have. Here's Scott Elkins.
And the clock is correct. The session will end when the clock ends.
Clock correct. So, 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Very nice. As Boemi nearly makes it into Turn 1's barrier. All-weather tyres, of course, with Hankook. Oh, everyone is squiggly like crazy. It's that first corner. The braking zone is right where the water is. The water's come back across the circuit from underneath the grandstand area as well. We're right next to the sea here as well on the Dockland circuit. It's a bit similar to what we have in London. As, oops, there goes Dan Tincton straight off the track and back on at Turn 1. And so not great there from Tincton. Gunther is under investigation for speeding in the pit lane. So Gunther's been given a speeding in the pit lane notification violation. Okay, well, have to keep an eye on that one. As Boemi flies it back through. Weird track this one, but hey, at least we've got the driver tracker working. As we'll turn through once more. Boemi, not setting the sector times alight here, Sebastian. Can't even see him on the timing screen. Is it 24? There we go. 122.486. So that's a differential between them at the moment. Gunther 121.387. As they'll accelerate once more back through. Pilestra's, yep, yeah, he's and Van Dorn, they're the two that are not going to have it. Oops. Frines really running it off at Turn 1, so was Boemi, very much getting it a little bit drifty wide. 5 minutes to go here, and they're just building up now to their 350 lap times.
They're quite fortunate, really, that we only have 1 tyre compound in Formula E, so it's not like they're running into the first corner on slick tyres.
Keep pushing, Zeb, keep pushing. We're going to try triple push. Keep pushing.
Triple push, okay.
That's the voice of Conor Somerville, the race engineer for Sebastian Boemi, just saying they're going to try and triple push. They're going to try and do 3 push laps to the end of this session. So they're going to try and get as much of a qualifying simulation in towards the end of FP1 as they can.
And again, 3 push laps, just so cold out there now, relatively. Sao Paulo a couple of weeks ago was one of the hottest, I think second hottest Formula E race we ever had. It's a lot colder here, I've got my jacket on, but it just means to get the tyres into their operating window, you've got to really push them a lot more than you would in a more traditional Formula E environment. As you've seen Mitch Evans catching a big old slide. Really good stuff coming out of turn 12, 13.
Yeah, just out of 15 there as well. He was getting a little bit sideways and screwed. You can hear the cars bottoming out as they go over the rise and compress down. By the way, if you're looking at the tower graphic on the left-hand side of your screen, you see the pink flashes next to the name. That essentially means that they're on an attack mode lap. So they've got 350 kilowatts of power, 50 kilowatts more than the drivers would have in standard form. And there are quite a few that are going on these push laps, trying to get as much practice in as they can. Evans, in turn, goes second quickest as he comes across the timing line. What about Oliver Rowland? He's third fastest on his attack lap as well. Pretty tight at the top, actually, there. Only half a second separating, what's that, 9 drivers, in fact. Mortara down in...
Oh, huge lock-up. 2 cars off, whoa.
Hang on a minute. That's Mahindra going off and meeting an Andretti at the same time as well.
I'm glad they managed to work that one out. You don't want to, cars going the other way. Andretti just locking up the inside front, missing the corner completely.
Yeah, it was Dennis that went off down into the chicane.
Just finding the limits. And, I don't know if he hit the bump. You can see him as he braked and locked up.
Yeah, and then Tara also following down an appetizer boarding that's come loose there as well and ended up in the path of the McLaren there of Sam Bird.
Yeah, I think you'll find a car maybe ran along that barrier and started to work with the signage loose.
Could be from Sette Camera earlier on, possibly.
I think you may be right. Da Costa in the pink Porsche, 4th quickest at the moment.
I tell you what, Da Costa will be elated after Sao Paulo. Got his first points of the season after what has been a challenging start to 2024 for him. He's just had no confidence with the car, no feel with it, not able to find the right baseline. He looked all at sea, in Diriyah in particular. Finally managed to get some points on the board a couple of weeks ago in Brazil, and he'll be happy with that.
And he's just gone P1, so be happy with that too. It's good stuff. Good to see him bouncing back because he really was down after those first rounds of the championship.
I was talking to Alexa Rendell, the lady who I'm sure you may recognise from our social media channels. Also be doing some pit lane reporting for us in free practice too tomorrow as well. And she said she reckons Da Costa is a bit of a dark horse this weekend, and we had a little wager with one another. She reckons Da Costa's going to have a better weekend than Dennis. Amongst one another.
I can see that happening. I think my dark horse is Oliver Rowland.
I think you're quite right. Is he a dark horse, though? Because he's been consistently on the podium the last couple of rounds.
I'm talking for the win. I'm talking for the big prize.
Okay.
I'm messing around here.
I was to compare neither with Rowland. He was actually quite looking forward to a possible wet first free practice session, because he said if we go into FP2 and it's dry, he reckons he'll have the upper hand.
I tell you what, this surface has got some grip. I'm just watching it. These cars, again, we talked about change of direction and how they're flinging the car around. Robin Franks missed the corner just a little bit there, but still very spectacular to watch.
And Fines goes to the top with a 120.865 as well. So the session really is giving it up here it all as Nato 15th. So the track can go fast in this. It's just good. It's a wet couple of sectors. So wet first sector. This track can and will give more to it, which is always the nice thing to see. As a Nissan going off at turn 1. Driver's briefing will be in about 50 minutes time as well. Just to let the drivers know, because I know some people do listen in down their trackside ever since we got a bit of popularity in the Formula E paddock. Mortara, 10th fastest at the moment. Fastest first sector, 33.173. So Edo could be doing something as the checker flag comes out. The session ends. Does Mortara jump up? Only to 7th. 121.678 for Edo here in Japan. Tick term 19th. Dennis was top of the session before the red flag, and now he's down in 20th place. It just shows you how quickly things change here in Formula E. Into the braking zone. It was fast finish round as well. They're out of it too. Nick Freeze ends up in 5th place for Mahindra. Cassidy up and down the first 2 sectors as well. Just changing it over as they come out, back it through. Nato goes 8th. Good time from him. Yeah, no one else is improving on deltas.
Couple of sectors, and this will elevate him up the order. See him just pushing the limits there, going through the final couple of corners as he comes across the timeline to take the checkered flag. Where does he end up? It's 5th fastest at the end of FP1 for the Kiwi.
They got harsh that flag went, didn't they?
Coming through to take it. Porsche 3rd and 4th quickest as well. That's pretty handy for them. They'll be pretty pleased with that. Dennis does, though, take the checkered flag in 20th place. So not the start to the weekend that the reigning world champion would have wanted.
No, but it's early days, and I'm sure they'll be fixing it overnight. There's a lot of work to do.
Mortara, sorry, Dario, has just popped it up into second.
Oh, wow,
very good.
121.802.
Looking a bit better. They've had an absolutely torrid start to the season.
Good time
Yeah,
there
they'll be
for
delighted
Mahindra.
with that. And a lot of recruitment going on with Mahindra over the off-season, and a lot of personnel changes and structural changes, just trying to find the synergy and the setup within the team that's going to work. And they've been steadily improving over the course of 2024. And getting into the duels last time with Mortara was a great indication of that. Look at that, though. That was Frights just making his way over the curve.
Copy that the rear tyres on that last lap.
Yeah, it was also... it was a bit messy lap with the rear tyres after the first sector or during.
Well, they were off the ground for a good bit of the second sector. This is interesting. The practice and starts on the kind of the damp part of the track. I don't know if that's just in case it rains at another race later in the year. We're not expecting rain tomorrow.
No, it should be dry and sunny tomorrow. Temperatures expected sort of in the early 20s, there and thereabouts, as we look at the start procedure here for Robin Frights. And the lights go out, and he will pull away from the grid. Well, he's hoping to pull away from the grid because he's got Jake Dennis right behind him, who would also like to do a practice start.
He hasn't moved. He's not moving. Frights isn't moving.
But the drivers then will come through and make sure that all the procedures are working correctly. I suppose, if nothing else, it gives them an idea of just how short that run is going to be down towards that first
Now
corner.
Frights moves.
Yeah, but again, it's damp, so you're not going to learn anything.
Here's the results then for the first practice session. Robin Frights is fastest, number 1:20.865. Then said Wada Mortara in second. Maximilian Gunther's third. Pascal Verline fourth. Antonio finished across the fifth. Nick Cassidy is sixth. Mitch Evans seventh. Victor Fries is in eighth. Ollie Rowland is in ninth. And Lucas de Grassi rounds out the top 10, separated by 0.7 of a second for the App Group team. On the second page, we see Norman Nato in 11th, followed then by Sebastian Remy in 12th. Sam Bird is 13th, Nico Muller 14th, Johnny McVerne 15th, Johan Jaruvela 16th, Sergio Setikamara is 17th, Sasha Fenestrad's 18th, Jake Hughes 19th, Dan Tinkson 20th, Jake Dennis topped the session, then dropped down to 21st, and Stoffel Van Dorn in 22nd, Fenestrad and Van Dorn stopping out the track, causing the two red flags we experienced. Let's hand over to Tom.
First red flag in FP1 with the car coming to a halt. Sylvain Filippi then watches on his driver Robin Frights fastest at the end of free practice one. Be hugely excited to see what happens as we get ready to go racing in Sao Paulo here tomorrow. 8 a.m. local time is when free practice 2 kicks off. From Billy Munger, from Dario Franchitti and from myself, Tom Brooks, thank you very much for joining us here in Tokyo, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. Join us tomorrow for free practice number 2. Bye-bye.